It was a Tuesday evening in late October, somewhere on the outskirts of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the kind of night where the wind cuts right through your jacket and the sky turns that deep, bruised purple just before full dark. Sarah Mitchell, a 34-year-old single mother of two, had just finished her second shift at the diner where she worked 6 days a week. Her feet ached, her tank was almost empty, and her wallet had exactly $14 left in it until payday on Friday. She pulled into the quick-stop gas station on Route 66, a place she passed every single day, and stepped out of her beat-up 2009 Honda Civic with her 2 kids still buckled in the back seat. Emma, age 7, was asleep. Tyler, age 5, was pressing his little nose against the window watching the moths circle the gas station lights. Sarah swiped her card at the pump. Declined. She tried again. Declined. She let out a quiet breath, the kind that carries the weight of everything you're holding together alone, and walked inside to pay cash. $12 for gas, $2 left over for whatever she could stretch until Friday. That's when they showed up. 3 men, loud, reeking of alcohol. They pulled in driving a lifted black truck with the music rattling the windows. The moment they spotted Sarah, alone, clearly tired, clearly vulnerable, something ugly turned on behind their eyes. It started with comments. Catcalling. The kind of words no woman should ever have to hear, especially not at a gas station at night with her children watching from the back seat of a car. Sarah ignored them, kept her head down, focused on the pump. They got closer. One of them stepped between her and the car door. "Where you going so fast, sweetheart?" he slurred, blocking her path. Sarah's heart was pounding. She could see Tyler's face in the window, confused, starting to look scared. She stayed calm. She asked them politely to move. They laughed. The second man started filming on his phone. The third leaned against her car, where her children were sitting. Sarah's voice stayed firm, but inside she was doing the math that every woman in danger does. "How far is the door? Is anyone watching? Can I scream loud enough?" The gas station attendant, a teenage boy no older than 17, was frozen behind the counter, wide-eyed, not sure what to do. That's when they heard it. The rumble started low, like distant thunder. Then it grew, and grew, until the entire parking lot vibrated with the sound of engines. Big, powerful, unmistakable. 12 motorcycles rolled into the quick stop. The Leather and Chrome Brotherhood, a well-known riding club based out of Tulsa with chapters across Oklahoma and Texas, had been on their way back from a charity ride for veterans' families when they decided to stop for fuel. They had no idea what they were riding into. But the moment their boots hit the pavement and they saw the scene unfolding, 3 men surrounding a woman, her kids visible in the back seat, a teenage attendant paralyzed behind glass, they didn't need anyone to explain anything. Big Ray, the chapter president, a 52-year-old former Army sergeant built like a refrigerator with a silver beard down to his chest, walked straight toward the situation without a word to anyone. The others fanned out behind him, not running, not shouting, just moving, with the quiet, deliberate calm of men who've handled real things in real life. "Everything all right here?" Big Ray said. Not to the troublemakers, to Sarah. His voice was even, steady, respectful. Sarah looked at him, this giant tattooed, leather-vested man with kind eyes, and felt something loosen in her chest. "No," she said quietly. "It's not." Big Ray nodded once. Then he turned to the 3 men. What happened next wasn't a fight. There were no punches thrown, no weapons drawn, no Hollywood dramatics. It was something more powerful than that. It was 12 men, bikers, veterans, fathers, grandfathers, standing in a semicircle in complete silence, looking at 3 drunk bullies who had just run out of courage completely. The man who had been blocking Sarah's door stepped aside. The one leaning on her car pushed off and looked at his shoes. The one filming put his phone in his pocket. Nobody said a word for about 10 seconds. Then one of the troublemakers muttered something, and they all shuffled back to their truck. No arguments, no posturing. Just 3 men who suddenly understood, very clearly, that they had made a serious mistake, and were lucky it wasn't going to cost them more than their pride. The black truck pulled out of the lot. The crowd, there were other customers watching now who had quietly gathered, let out a collective exhale. Big Ray turned back to Sarah. "You good?" he asked. Sarah had been holding it together through the whole thing, the way mothers do, the way women who carry everything alone learn to do. But something about the simplicity of that question, "You good?" broke through her defenses. Her eyes filled with tears. She nodded, then shook her head, then laughed a little at herself. "I've had better Tuesdays," she admitted. The bikers laughed with her, not at her, with her. One of the women in the group, yes, there were 2 female riders, walked over and put an arm around Sarah's shoulders and just stood there with her for a minute. Didn't try to fix it, didn't offer advice, just stood there. Another biker, a tall guy named Marcus who looked like he could bend steel with his hands, walked over to Sarah's car, knocked gently on the window, and gave Tyler a thumbs up. Tyler, wide-eyed, gave one back. Emma had woken up and was watching everything through the glass. Then something happened that nobody planned. One of the bikers, nobody even knows who started it, walked over to the pump attached to Sarah's car and swiped his card. "Fill it up," he told her. Sarah shook her head immediately. No, please, I can't accept." "Ma'am." He said it with a gentleness that made it sound like the most natural thing in the world. "Let us do this." She stopped arguing. By the time the tank was full, someone else had gone inside and come back out with 2 kids' snack packs, a hot coffee for Sarah, and a gas station bouquet of flowers that probably cost $6.99 but felt, in that moment, like something far more valuable. The teenage attendant came outside. He apologized to Sarah for freezing up. Big Ray put a hand on his shoulder and told him there's no shame in not knowing what to do. The shame is in not caring. He gave the kid his card and told him if those men ever came back, he had a phone number to call. Sarah Mitchell posted about what happened 3 days later. She didn't name the gas station. She didn't name the men who harassed her. She named the bikers. "People have a lot of assumptions about men in leather on motorcycles," she wrote. "I'm here to tell you that on the worst Tuesday of my month, 12 strangers in leather vests were the kindest, most decent people I have ever met. They didn't have to stop. They didn't have to stay. They didn't have to fill my tank and feed my kids and make my daughter laugh through a car window. But they did. Because that's who they actually are." The post was shared over 200,000 times in 72 hours. The Leather and Chrome Brotherhood received hundreds of messages. Big Ray did one interview, reluctantly, and said exactly 4 sentences. "We didn't do anything special. We just did what anyone should do. She needed help. We helped." In a world that sometimes feels like it's running low on decency, a gas station parking lot in Tulsa, Oklahoma became the place where 12 bikers reminded an entire country what it means to show up for a stranger. And somewhere in that city, a little boy named Tyler still gives thumbs up to every motorcycle he sees on the road. Share this story if you believe kindness is still out there. Because it is.